Hi, good evening, everyone. We're sorry for the delay. So welcome to our webinar, and immediately I want to introduce our guests today, Nadav Atias and Gita Ben David. Can we? I will speak about them later, but we will start immediately with Gita and her two sons, Pele and Gili, and they will start with opening song.
Welcome. I will start with a song I wrote, and I have had it for many years. I'm using it for medicine in a way. I like to write songs that you can use. For example, if you're in a crisis and you need to, some kind of embrace the emotion in order to get through it. And Gil, would you please come and sit? We can just sing the song. I accept what I am right now. All emotions come, breathe through my heart. Depression and frustrations are distorted feelings, traumas and scars. Dear God, let my fences down. Dear God, let my feet find stable ground. Find stable ground. I accept what I am right now. All emotions come, sing through my heart. The frustrations are distorted feelings, traumas and scars. Dear God, let my fences down. Dear God, let my feet find stable ground. Find stable ground. I accept what I am right now. All emotions come, sing through my heart. The pineal gland catches the light. Hypothalamus, pituitary, right up the night. Dear God, let my voice read true. Dear God, let my song connect with you. Connect with you. I accept what I am right now. All emotions come, breathe through my heart. Depressions and frustrations are distorted feelings, traumas and scars. Dear God, let my fences down. Dear God, let my feet find stable ground. Find stable ground. I accept what I am right now.
In this evening, we will have 4 parts. First part, we will have interview with Gita. And then Gita will make a webinar, and it's purifying the pineal. And then we will have Q&A with you. And we will start immediately with the interview, and I invite Nadav to make this interview. But I want, first of all, to tell you a very interesting story about Gita. Why Gita? So I started a few months ago to make another movie, and it's about healing, about sound healing frequency. And the first scene, I document Gita, and please be careful to listen what I have to say. Gita from Denmark, she, via Zoom, were tone to a woman that was in Israel. She was lying on a bed, and she has a tumor in her breast. And Gita, with her voice, caused the tumor to shrink from 3 centimeters to a few millimeters in 17 minutes. So that's why I think Gita has a very important message to the humanity. That's why we made this webinar. And now I invite Nadav to make this interview with Gita.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really excited. And I thank you for the opportunity. This was very interesting to me to hear about resonance and energy and so on and so forth. But before I start, I'd like to introduce Gita. Except for being a lovely person that smiles a lot, Gita Ben David is educated in the Royal Danish Academy of Music, and she's studied Indian singing, amazing, and regression therapy and healing. She's also a recognized leader of international education in vocal wellness. Its previous name was vocal sound therapy. She's the author of 8 books. 8 books in Danish, 5 of them are already translated to English. The ultimate book on vocal sound healing, that's actually a trilogy by O Books. Heal the Pineal, that's a nice name. Help a Personal Story of Chronicle Toxification. And she's also a musician and a composer of a number of music pieces, CDs, online guided meditations on fixing our meridians, and so on and so forth. My first question to start with is, you actually started, as Tzipi mentioned, from a very classical field of expertise, being a singer. Can you tell us about this very particular event in your life that took you to an entirely different path in life, going from singing to vocal healing?
Yeah, first of all, I was actually a saxophone player.
Oh,
and
wow.
I studied in the classical conservatorium. And I always wanted to sing, but I thought I didn't have a very strong voice. It was a very airy voice. And I think there are many people like this. They think they're not good enough. And that's also a basic thing. And but I got a very high degree with saxophone, and I luckily had asked for money to come to travel, and then I got a lot of money because I got a high degree in my examination, and I went to India because my girlfriend was going to India. That's why I had no interest in the Indian music. It was just to get out to travel, actually, and I chose singing because I thought it would be the easiest. And what I experienced there was that my singing teacher, Mangala Tiwari, when I heard her voice, it was like a shiver in my neck. It was like I was like hungry to hear her sing. And I was thinking a lot about this very strange way of singing. How come it had such a deep impact on me? And today I can say it's because she was authentic. She sang herself. And she said to me, I would like to see if you can be God-gifted. So you have to go home and sing the note from heaven. No, not the note from heaven, that's what I call it. I should sing one note at least 1 hour a day. And that was really boring for me, because I was used to play very fast in the conservatorium and be very clever, you know. So now it's not about being clever, but it's about being God-gifted. and nobody talked about it in Denmark. But I went into it, and what happened was that when I sang, and I thought it was boring, and many people think it's boring to sing on one note, but then all of a sudden, after 10 minutes or something, I experienced that many notes came out of my mouth at once, and that we can today explain as overtones. And it was like I was sung and not instead of singing. And I got really a power and a voice that I thought it cannot be me. I thought somebody was copying me in the street or something. So we all have this power, and that has been following me since then. It's 38 years ago. Yeah.
So that particular moment where you practiced this one note took you to start searching the path of healing?
I didn't know it was healing because I'm actually born into a very atheistic family. I mean, even to talk about God was, nobody did that. I only found out about what is God in the school, and I thought it was really strange they didn't tell me. So in a way, I had my own secret. I was praying in the toilet, for example, but the healing, even to think about healing, I didn't do, but it started to happen to me that I saw colors. I start to get images like when I was a kid, like films going on. Many things start to happen when I did this singing on one note. So now I can't see you, Nadav. I like to see him.
Same here.
Just because somebody is changing the images. Yes, it was, it changed my life totally. And I start to understand that there's something else than just duality, in life. And I came in to explain this over the years as oneness, because when you unite into a certain field with the singing, that will happen when you surrender and stop trying to be something else than you are. So that's what it's about. It's about being authentic. Yeah.
Yeah. So practicing this one note.
Yeah.
Did you feel the need to put any intention behind it, or was it only technical? This is what I need to do, and I need to repeat it again and again and again, or do I need to have some sort of an intention? And I want to take that question also to what you do today. Before you start singing or vocalizing, do you take a few moments or seconds to put an intention behind it, or is it just technical?
It is all intention, because I had the intention to sing a beautiful sound, because as a musician you want to make a nice sound. It was really important for me always, and I think I had this ability to hear energy because I've always been able to listen to musicians, even I was not very skilled. I could know this is a good musician because I could hear there's a lot of energy there. So I have probably always listened for energy in sound. And this is my gift. Maybe many others can do it too, but we're not aware of it. So the intention was actually to find oneness in the sound. I didn't know it, but I listened for it in a way, because that would make me feel uplifted. I would feel uplifted, and I would feel I could sing, and I would disappear into a condition that gave me bliss in a way. And it was without knowing anything about spirituality.
Yeah, so singing was a sort of a meditation for you in a way that took you to that place where you feel bliss.
Yeah.
So can I, without having a singer's voice, also activate this type of energy, or this is something saved only for those who are pleasant to the ear?
Anybody can do it. Even people that think they're tone deaf can do it. Of course, if you have to sing in a group and you can't hit the note, you can get re-traumatized if people start to say. So usually, if somebody would not be able to hit the note, I would ask before we start, if we have a physical group, is anybody scared if they can hit the note or have traumas around singing? Because then we like to know it, because then I would go and sing you into the ear. Sometimes one ear will hear it, sometimes another ear even will hear it. And that they will feel safe, that we will not sit and do as if it sounds very good if it doesn't. So we will ask, we will help, and we'll make a safe atmosphere around it. And usually people can hit it. When we sing one note, it's just a matter of feeling the resonance to recognize how it feels. Yeah.
So my cells in my body, they don't have ears. They cannot listen.
You don't think that?
Can you tell me about the effect of the vibration? Actually, it's a vibration that probably is a form of energy carrying information on top of it. Can you tell me about that vibration hitting my cells and what happens to my cells? Do I produce better protein? Do I lengthen the cell's life? What do I do there?
It has taken me many years. I've been looking for these answers. I just tell you because I didn't want to teach this in the beginning because I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that it has an effect, and that I start to be able to go back maybe into what you call regression. That's why I became a regression therapist, because I start to have these films when I just lay down and relax. I would be in control of it, but I thought I better know what to do if some students would get it. So the cells, I believe that the piezo electricity, it's a kind of electricity that is like coming from a mechanic energy that could come, for example, from this. That's the Hong song we're going to sing tonight. That this energy will be captured by the cells. But first of all, the key point in this evening also is the pineal gland. So the way the energy is transformed can easily be through the pineal gland. The crystals in the body, there are crystals inside the pineal gland and inside even in the ears. There's also, but there's not so much scientific evidence yet, but it starts to come. So I'm very interested also in science and also in spirituality. And also, I can tell you the cells, vibration can hit any frequency, because we talk about if cells have ears. No, not ears like this, I think, but they have a lot of cilia sitting on them. And these cilia will react on frequencies. And this is, even on fear, they will react. So that means if I would, let's say, be rang down because now Sipi said that we could make a tumor shrink. Yes, it has happened really many times, and many miracles are happening. But there must be a receiver and a sender. And if somebody would be fearful and even be afraid to widen their consciousness and accept that this can happen, it can be very hard to make it happen. So we have the belief in this too, because I believe the cell would have all these cilia, and if it doesn't like or is scared about it or scared to widen the consciousness, it will pull in all the cilia. So, also each organ, each part of us has its own frequency, so we can tune into whatever we want. And that's why I think I'm so happy that you will share this, because I've been a little bit keeping back, because it's too fantastic what this can do, actually. So my aim is that to teach people to do it by themselves as much as possible. So you can tune into any part of your body. You can even take an atomic map and check it with, I have a certain sound, and that's a Hong song we're going to learn. It will, the sound will react when I hit the right thing. And this is the mystical part of this. How come that the sound will react, and it's not my brain doing it? my voice, if I tune in to listen to another person's cells or to my own, the voice will react like it has its own intelligence. And that's in the oneness.
Amazing.
If you tune into the oneness, if you're in duality, it won't do it, then you'll be in control. But in duality, if you can practice to step into oneness, then you can actually, with your intention, send to any place.
So what you said earlier about not me singing, but me being sung,
Yeah.
that's the oneness part you're talking about, right? It's like something greater than me, probably coming from the one field.
Much greater.
That is singing through me, but it's not really me. And if the healee or the patient is focused on that same state of mind, state of being, then he can join this oneness. If he remains in duality, this might not work, right? Did I get you correctly?
This is a very simple way to say it, because I think there are more degrees in it. But for example, I can tell you that the woman that we healed now with CP is a very, very humble woman. And she was so grateful for anything would happen. And I believe that the gratefulness and the humbleness is a big part of it. So we are coming into the spirituality. Because, for example, I had another example, a woman, we were healing her, and there were some students with me, and she had a big tumor, and we got it down in half size in a few minutes. And I was like, wow. So she said, yes, but it's not gone, And then I was like feeling, okay, bye-bye. I don't feel like healing you. I mean, this is holy for me. I don't feel it's me doing this. I feel something higher coming down. But if people don't feel gratitude when, for example, a tumor in this size coming half size, then there's no reason to do it, because it's like a very clever man, like the Messiah or Jesus. He said also that it's the miracles are not happening for the miracle's sake. It's happening for the consciousness to widen. And if people don't feel gratitude or don't feel the awe of this higher power, or have this respect for this, then there's no reason they cannot be healed then. Maybe they can, but I'm not the one to judge, but it is a sacred work, and the frequency and the resonance is sacred.
Yeah, this actually leads me right to the following question. Let's say someone is healed, but they do not evolve or change the way they behave, their automatic patterns that they usually execute. Is this good enough? Is this a one-time thing? Or do we need to also have this accompanied by a program for that person to understand why he encountered such an issue with his health? Maybe we teach him how to vocalize for himself, and also have a plan for him to start evolving, to move to a new place in life.
A very good point you're coming with, because this fix me thing is not what any of us want. That's also why I like to give tools to people how they can treat themselves and maybe even each other. We're also making some of my students, they make online singing groups now. It's a big thing that we can do it online, so that many people will sing together and keep it like that. Sometimes the miracle will heal people instantly, because they will move their consciousness together with it. But most times we need also to the process of the illness is that we will change what made us ill, and we have to transform the traumas. That's why one of the webinars we will present in the end is also about how you can sing yourself free of trauma. because we can be captured by traumas, and we want to leave them, but we can't, because somehow it's a pattern in us that just like a mice, we will go around in it. And shortly, I can say that the key is all the time oneness, because if we go into oneness, into the moment, then we can change anything, because for the future and the past is not there. Then you can change what happened in the past in the present. And we see that happening because, for example, if somebody would sing, then one of the, again, little bit magical things, but it is that, and that has again to do with the pineal gland, that it started when I started to sing like this. I just started teaching people to sing and find their authentic voice. And then there was one woman, it was very hard for her to get it. She was so much in control all the time. And I started to get images, and I actually had it a long time. I got these images, and I didn't dare to tell them because I didn't want people to say, oh, she's clairvoyant or something, you know. I thought this is too far out, you know, people, then I get power on people. So what I actually did was, then in this case, because it was really hard to make her sing herself free, so I said, could I just share? I get some image again and again. And when I shared this image, it started to be kind of a story. And I told it while she was continuously singing. And then she got a question in this song, in this story. For example, I can tell you this because I wrote in my book. Usually I will forget the stories after, but it was a woman with a very, very long hair walking into a church, and this hair was simply sweeping the floor, and she got all kind of dirt into it. She going up to the priest in the altar, and the priest tell her, if you want, please put your hair up in your head. She said, no, you should not tell me what to do. And he said, okay, but you want to sing. You don't want your authentic voice to get out. So please put it up your hair. She agreed then to, the woman had very short hair, by the way, but usually in normal life. But then she agreed to put it up in the story. And the moment she put it up, her voice came through. And this kind of stories, I don't mind what is the story. I don't understand what it's about, but the person usually knows what it's about. So these kind of stories can happen. Another thing, images that helps me, for example, was a woman from America that I was healing her tumor at the lung. And the hospital couldn't help her anymore, but the tumor got down, and I was really happy it shrinked. But then next time it was up again and again and again. It's happening down, up, until I'm closing my eyes and listening into also her sound. And I said, what? Are you sitting smoking? I just got an image that she was smoking. And then she was smoking. So she said, I can't stop smoking.
Mm.
But if she's almost dying from cancer and I have to heal her, she needs also to do an effort.
Yeah.
You see, but then I get the image that helps me.
Yeah. Can I cause damage singing the wrong way?
I think you can damage your voice if you don't sing from here. So the breathing is really important, to breathe from down the belly. Singers would say that you also have to sing from other places, also up here. But for what I sing, I tell people like, almost like when you have to give birth, you're breathing, but you're just getting a slow exhalation. And the longer the exhalation is also, the more you will activate the parasympathetic nerve system. And this, I think, is linked to also the pineal gland that we're going to talk about later. That why also I get the images, could be the DMT that the pineal gland will secrete. but I didn't know about it before I started writing the book Heal the Pineal.
Yeah, so you're answering for the singer, and I'm asking for the other person, the Healy. Can I cause the Healy damage?
Oh, sorry, I didn't answer your question. sorry. Yes, you can. If you don't breathe correctly, if you would breathe from up here, then you would be able to. You could be very pain. It could be pain in your throat. So that's why it's very important to breathe down from as deep as you can from your belly. Also, in order to get grounding, because we work with an electric system. The life is electricity for me to see and my experience. And when we sing, we heighten the energy level of the body and the organism. And the level you can reach to is corresponding to your degree of grounding. So we need grounding, we need feet on the ground, maybe barefoot even, and then we can start to work with the energy also. So if you don't do that, you can harm yourself. And for example, if you would sing on the pineal gland, which many would think, oh, now I can open my pineal and I can get all kinds of things. If you do it too much, you can really get dizzy and you can get seizures, I think it's called, and you can simply get sick because you will start a detox process. I can say that I was a medical doctor, an elder one, joining my course, and he said, I don't believe this with the pineal gland. I said, okay, you can try, and we tried, and then he felt he could do it, and he just continued doing it for hours. And after these hours, he got so ill. And we had to, he said, I think I have a corona. We say, okay, we come with a test for you. And it was during corona, and it was just a break in the corona. And he didn't have corona. So it was simply, you can have diarrhea, you can have all kind of reactions, because when we sing, you can have a detox effect, not just by singing, but by singing in this way. So that was a long answer, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a great answer.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by the pineal gland. The reason I wanted to interview you is because I'm doing Joe Dispenza's work. I also translated his books to Hebrew, and I run the local community of the practitioners of Joe Dispenza's work. So anything about vibration, energy, I love that. And it's really fascinating to hear about vocals and sounds because they are more localized as opposed to what we see in the One Field movie, for example, where you can influence someone from India to Jerusalem. And here we have a different medium where you need to have the person close enough to feel the vibrations, right?
No.
No. Okay.
I thought so
Okay.
too, like you did, but during Corona, we found out because people were so ill and we couldn't get together. So we did it on the phone, and we have cured people on the hospitals just on the phone. So we found out that's also why that what Sipi described, we did it on Zoom. And this is, I think, first time it happened that a tumor is going down while a medical doctor look at it and it's photographed. For me, I don't know how come it was me that have to do this, but it happened, and it happens, I just have to serve with this, and I have to tell people that it's possible, but also that it's not a rule. It's the first thing is the spiritual development, and then it is also to find out we can do the sound healing, yes, to help people to get over the worst thing, but it's the ones that continue working with themselves that get healed. For example, I had a woman with leukemia. She had 1 to 2 weeks to live. She could die any moment. She had the worst chemos that could kill a person. And the hospital said that her immune system was non-existing. I was scared to have her because I didn't want her to die in my arms, but she insisted. And 5 treatments, then the leukemia was gone. But it took over months, we took not every week, but she sang every day when she walked with her dog. And I taught her how to get her life power back. And it seems like the body is so intelligent, so we can just support this intelligence with energy and frequency that will resonate and support it. So that's the basic of what it is actually.
Okay. So we need to finish the interview. I'd like to thank you very much. It was interesting. It was lovely. I love it. Thank you so much, Gita.
Thank you very much, Nadav. It was very nice. I'm almost sad that you're not continuing interviewing me. So,
okay, and now we're moving on to your webinar. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am actually just talking because I like to talk and to tell you live what it's about, because if I have too many images, it's getting too stiff for me. So what I would tell you first, maybe I just will go a little bit closer to the screen. I hope that's allowed, because I like to not sit so distant from you. So one thing is the pineal gland. When I was in the menopause, then I was very surprised about how imbalanced I was. I had expected I will have no problem because I think I'm very working with myself and all this, but I got actually depressed and things like this that I've never been before, really down. And one day I thought, okay, it is probably my hormones, and I would think to do something about it myself. And that's why I would like to share it, because this you can do yourself. So I went to check the hormonal glands, and then I would like the image of the hormonal glands, just if it's possible. You can also wait with it. You can find it, the ones that have it. The hormonal gland is the pineal gland, number 1. It's in the center of the brain. And if you see a bird's head like this, okay, now something else coming. If you see a bird's head like this, then in the neck of that bird's head, I'll do it like this. In the neck of the bird's head, inside the brain, there will sit the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a cone shape. It's not so big like this. It's the size of a pine knot. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. And here we have, actually, the red one is the pituitary, and the green, yellow one in the neck of the bird's head is the pineal gland. So I looked it up. I made my illustrator for my book make this one, but in the back of this bird's head is sitting this pineal gland, and it's in the center of the brain. And I tried to somehow get in contact with it. And why did I do that? Because I have had contact with a very, very brilliant scientist called Stephanie Seneff. She's a senior scientist originally from Boston. She had to move from Boston, I think, because she didn't want the vaccinations during Corona. So she is now in another, somewhere, Hawaii or something. I actually have directly contact with Stephanie Seneff because she told me that the pineal gland is not only, it is mainly known that it is in charge of the circadian rhythm of the body, making all our aging, all our rhythm, all, our daily rhythm, everything it is in charge of. The clock, And it is not only us that has this, it's all living animals that have that together with us. And she also told me that this is the melatonin, because the pineal gland is secreting endocrines, or hormones you can call it, and it's doing it because it is able, and that's what interested me terribly, to transform light into chemistry. So that means light into matter. So the pineal is simply a transformer of light, and the most people say that it's the scientists saying it's coming through the eyes, the light. But I also believe it has other entrances, because otherwise, how could people survive in, for example, the North Pole or somewhere where it's totally dark for half a year? Anyway, it has a lot to say, this, and the pineal gland is in charge of the melatonin, which is, if not the strongest, one of the strongest antioxidants of our body. And beside this, Stephanie Seneff told me, she was a part of some kind of investigation of the pineal gland, that it's also in charge of sulfate secretion. So the sulfate is the soap of the body. It's like we know sulfate is a kind of soap, but it will, from the daylight, create heparan sulfate. And heparan means that it will be stored like heparan sulfate, because it's only in the night that the sulfate will be distributed out into our nerve system. And I found this very interesting, because if you have a calcified pineal gland, I have made this just to see it, imagine, then you will make less sulfate and you will make less melatonin. You will have sleeping problems, and at the same time, your toxic level will accumulate, and this can lead to all the autoimmune illnesses we have. So I think we have a really big cornerstone in the pineal gland. So I thought, okay, I'm tired and I'm exhausted, and maybe I have a calcified pineal gland. So I thought I want to try to purify it. But I also knew that if I should balance my all endocrine system, the pineal gland is linked to the hypothalamus, which is the beak of the bird's head. You can see where the yellow is, it's just going out to the red, the pituitary. The hypothalamus and pituitary are the most known of the glands that the doctors work with. So I had also to do this, because the three of them are the directors of the whole endocrine system, meaning that all the others want the thyroid, the thymus gland, which is in charge of T cells that will do that we can't get cancer, for example, and the adrenal glands that is in charge of stress hormones, is sitting in top of the kidneys, like two small triangles, and the pancreas, the insulin, and the ovaries or testes is a part of all this. But all these are under the three leaders. So if one of these or two of these will not work well, it can also be reflected in the other ones. So I took them all, and I started to look for a sound that will release, or somehow I thought, I'm not sure I can do this. I mean, it's a very, very small gland. This pineal gland is like a pine knot. But I tried it, and I felt bad enough to do it. And then I tried all kind of sounds. And then I went also into the Tibetan sound. I knew this ram and all kind of sounds, and I never worked so much with it. And that didn't also work. And then I came to the hong. And every time I would try to sing hong for the pineal gland, it would start to say. So my voice showed me that I had to sing this, because then I felt drifting when this came on. I had worked with undertones before, but that was open undertones. But if you will try, now before we'll do it, I will just say, if you will try to create this hung, because it purified my pineal gland, I will come back to it, then you would see that if you close your ears while doing it, you should close all the way up to the nose. It's simply through the nose. If you close your ears, it will be loud inside your head. It should be a loud sound. That's why I call it an inner undertone. If you will hold your nose, it should be no sound. There are some people, and you should not be sad if you can't do it immediately, because some people get really losing their breath. They can't do it. And others would think they said have to sing like this. But no, it should be. And the tongue, don't put it back. I know it's the same place that we're activating with the hung. It's the same place as in Kriya Hatha Yoga, they would put the tongue up because they want to lift the soft palate, the back of it. And it is exactly that place that we are stimulating with the hung song. And this place, if I could see the image again that we had before, is up exactly on the other side of the pituitary. Yes, great. Can you see the small cave behind it? That's where people would usually, the neurologist, if they have to go inside the central nerve system, they will operate people through the nose and in through this cave, because there's a soft kind of soft skin there. And that when we say hung, it will be placed exactly on the other side of the pituitary, the red one. So we go straight into the third eye, into the central nerve system when we say hung. Hung. If you would say hung, it would come backwards and it would go into more into the neck. You see, then the hung is going more back, but hung is going up. Hung, maybe even more, but it's too hard to sing on hung, but hung. So since I did this and started doing this, I found out that I could go to all the endocrine glands and activate them. I don't tell them what to do. I just give them energy so that they can rebalance themselves. So if I would go into somebody's pineal gland that would not be purified, I can try to think about one person now. I'm healing now. It will sound like a car that cannot start. I will do it again now. So what I would imagine, close down again, because it's not good to go from one to another all the time, but I will do it to explain. Sorry up there, don't mess around with me. So what I would suggest, if I feel a lot of trauma, I call it this trauma sound, like when a car, it sounds like, in my expression, like a car that's getting stuck. Then I would or give it more undertone, or give it some real sound and tune into it, like until the overtones start to come. Then that note that will be most full of overtones will usually help to clean it. Anyway, I did with the hung song to my pineal gland, and I started to have images, and I felt really, wow, this is nice. And then I thought maybe not to do it too long time. I had this instinct because it seemed like working quite strong. So I took the hypothalamus. I just imagined the bird's head. You know, if you have a map of it, I see it like a bird, and the bird's the beak of the bird. And then I went to the pituitary, like this red one hanging, an opposite heart hanging out of the beak of the bird's head, just up above the soft palate. That is lifted when you say hung. And then I stayed with the three of them for some time, and I thought it worked quite well. Before I will go on to the others, we will go through them in a moment. I will do to all the group, and you can sing together with me and go through it. Then I will just tell you that now, after I've been also I found out that you can activate anything, because this hung is actually giving access to the intention that it will do exactly what you put your intention on. If you are going into the oneness with in listening to that other person, you just want to do the best for that other person, then you will be able to do it. So while studying the meridians and also the 8 extraordinary meridians for psycho-emotional pain, I found that the hung place, the place of the hung song inside the cavity of the mouth, is exactly the place where the du-mai and the ren-mei meet. This is the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang main energy that's meeting. This is the meeting point of these two. So it's also an electric point. Very, very central point. And that's also the point that many ancient meditation techniques are talking about. So if we can, it's very nice that we can activate it by ourselves just with and maybe also the cat, they like it really much. So maybe that's why it's purring. So do you want me to try? Shall we try it? Could tell a little bit more about if you cannot express the hung, it could be due to some tension in the jaws. And that's why also I will make a webinar on the note from heaven, how to sing the note from heaven, because just surrendering can be hard if you're not used to it. And that will also help you to open your jaws more. So if you cannot sing it, don't worry, then you can take the sound from me, but you can try. So we start by saying hung, hung, hung. It's like a very lazy crocodile, or something else. I don't know if you. The babies love to say that sound. Actually, they do it naturally. So you have been able to say it once. So we go into the pineal gland now, the center of the brain. And we should stay there maximum 3 minutes. If you do it on your own, you really have to know it's a very powerful tool. So don't do it longer than 3 minutes at a time. Center of the brain. And now I try to go also into the group, so I might have a lot of trauma sound. Yeah, now I start to help. So that was the pineal gland. Then we take the hypothalamus, the beak of the bird's head, pointing forward. I ask for love and light for the group. Yeah. Go on to the pituitary, which is sitting like an opposite heart hanging out of the beak of the bird's head. And we could maybe have the image of the endocrine glands while we do this. I will lower light for the group also. Yeah. Now we go to the thyroid in the throat. And then we will go to the thymus gland, which is situated a little bit above the breastbone here, but in the middle. It's like a long gland, and that's the one that's creating T cells. That's very good to activate if you don't want to have cancer, and just to strengthen the immune system. I ask for love and light for the group. Yeah. We go on to the adrenal glands, which are sitting in top of the kidneys like two small pyramids, you can say, in top of them. They're sitting and actually linked into the spine almost. They're sitting in the back, but deep inside solar plexus also. And this is why we can have really much pain in the solar plexus when we get emotional or we get scared. That's a mystical gate in the Chinese or Taoistic system also. So we have to go into them now. Imagine the two triangles on top of the kidneys. Here we have some problems, yes. Ask for love and light for everybody. Yeah. So we take the pancreas that is sitting like a boomerang and pointing to the left side under the breast, under the left breast. Ask for lower light for the group. Yeah. And now we're going down into all the ovaries or the testes. I full of a light for the group. And now we're going up along the spine, all the way down from the sacrum, the tailbone, and all the way up through the neck and up back into the pineal gland in the center of the brain. And now we're coming up through the brainstem, in the neck, and into the pineal gland in the center of the brain. And feel the impact. It can be very nice to sit and meditate on this after. But the time is running, so you can just stand meditate while I talk. I have to tell you that what happened to me when I did this and played with it was that I thought it was very nice. I felt balanced after, and I felt really good mood. And I continued to be able to balance myself just by doing this glance. At least you can make yourself, can be that you're really sad because of a very strong reason, but you can make yourself, like, give yourself a break from it, and yeah, be balanced. So I was doing it daily when I was in my menopause, and it helped me. The first time I did it, I got a headache in the evening. It started to come a headache, and I thought I never have headaches, but it was really a heavy one, and I went to bed. And then I woke up in the night and I had an egg here coming out. And I thought, what? I'm a tumor. And I got scared. And then I came to think about when I was in India. I've been there 6 times studying, and 2 months every time. And there was a family I lived with, and the man had a boil, and the woman just put onion on it, and then it was gone the next day. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try to do the same. And what is inside onion? This is sulfate. So I just put, oh, now it's not going to smell so good, but it's not smelling so good, but you get used to it. So if you would have a reaction, let's say this is the detention, let's say the police up here want to catch everything that's not allowed to be in the body. Let's say pineal gland had a lot of toxins on it that was released because this Hong Song is working like a brush or a drill almost. I was imagining it like a dentist tool that would clean the pineal gland. So it cleaned it and that was my, I have always slept very, very light, And I also, when I had the kids, I was waking up any moment, just they will turn in the bed, I was awake. And I thought, oh, I'm a very good mother. Yeah, but I didn't sleep very well. But then after I've been cleaning that, first time I've been sleeping, like a pig, I've been really sleeping deep since then. So I wanted, there's some scientists here in Denmark, I asked them if they could please photograph my pineal gland while I sat at home, but nobody wanted to do it. So I have not this proof, but I have the proof that I sleep very well and I never slept so good after this. And also this, I put the onion on it because there was so many toxins coming out and the headache disappeared, and it took 24 hours, then the boil was gone. And it is actually if it's too many toxins, then they would maybe get stuck up in the lymphatic system. The final thing I will say is that when you have purified your pineal gland, then you will start to create more melatonin. Maybe that's why I sleep deeper. And you will also create more sulfate. And that means that you will have a stronger immune system and it will purify your body. Because the only hormone that has free access to inside the cells, heart, this is the sulfate. It's like it's opening for it because it's the cleaning stuff. And every night your brain is shrinking 60%. That's maybe why we can, when we wake up and we have some thoughts in the night, we are not as clever in the night. It seems like the thoughts can be really running around. But I am explaining it by that it's actually shrinking the brain. You have half brain in the night almost. Because the lymphatic system, that's the glymph, is not the lymph, but this is the cerebrospinal fluid that is in the brain, will purify your body, your brain when you sleep, and the melatonin sulfate will be spread out and do its cleaning job. So that's why it is so crucial to purify the pineal, because if we don't do it, we are numbed. And also another thing is that a benefit is that you will start to have stronger dreams. You will start to get messages in your dreams. I mean, my books, I will stop talking now. I know I talk too much, but we'll be finished soon. But for example, these two books, The Help, it's about toxins also. And then it's this Heal the Pineal. These, when I started writing them, it was, I mean, I've been writing it on my dreams because, of course, I had ideas, but then I woke up and then I knew exactly what to investigate when I woke up, and I'm writing it down, and then I'm excited. Oh yeah, of course, we have to look this up. And you get so, it's like you are cooperating. Yeah, I mean, I'm, if it's spirit or whatever it is, I don't know, there is a higher intelligence, and it's not mine, I can tell you that. Because when I read my own books, I have, oh my God, it's a great book. I forget what I wrote, because I feel it's not, I mean, I wrote it, but I feel it came down in a way. So there's probably a lot more to say, but I will say thank you now, not to cross the time too much. Yes, then I should also talk about, Sipi. Yes?
About the webinar.
Yes, of course. I should also say, by the way, that there is a, sun gazing and the infrared light. Just remember that if you purify a pineal gland, the infrared light is the most important to get in the morning and the evening, and to get less on the screen. That's it. Okay. We're going to make 5 webinars here, and the first webinar is a note from heaven, and Sipi already put it up, or the crew of Sipi put it up in their page, and that's about how to sing the note from heaven and surrender, and also how to use real sound to restructure the cells and the gel of the cells, the water in the body. It's also about how you can enter the, how it's also important not only to get into the oneness, but also to come back to duality. How are we shifting between the two stages? Because otherwise it can create fear if you don't know how to shift. It's very important. We are here on earth, that's a dual life, but we can benefit for knowing how to make that shift. Many more things, also amygdala, hippocampus, and things like this we will work with. Yeah, then there's I think it's the 12th of January, I'm not sure about that, but I think we decide on that. And then the second webinar will be 2 weeks after, and that's 26th of January, undertones and Hong Song. And it is about how to express the undertones and how to work with them and what you can do with it, and also how you can heal yourself. And also I will give examples on how you can, for example, balance very important meridian points in you. It is simply tools for self-help, this. Then there's the Sunday, the 9th of February, and then it's about singing yourself free of trauma. And that one would be dangerous. I mean, not ethical if I would start to sing you free. So I don't do that. We talk about how you can sing, for example, on your cry. If you would have a cry coming up, because the cry is leading you back to your essential sound, also the one you truly are. And that cry that would be linked to a trauma, if you would sing on that and embrace it, that will be able to release some things. Plus storytelling, if we ask the right questions and all this. I will just give you the tools, but please, it's not for real time release, because I cannot be there to release hundreds of people, you know. But it's for self-help. And then we'll have the 23rd of February, vocal sound scanning. How are we doing that? How can you find exactly the right frequency for exactly the right thing? For example, I've seen pancreatic cancer that nobody could cure, and that's what we prefer. If somebody cannot be cured of the hospital, we don't want to compete with the hospitals. We're not doing it at all. But I call it vocal wellness because we could feel well with it. It's a chance. And sometimes we have actually been able to also influence the pancreas, which is a very, very hard one to heal. It's not always happening, but it is possible. We have seen it, I think 4 times it has happened now that people were cured. And they say it's not possible in the hospital, but it happened actually. So that's a big interest because nobody can help people with that. The webinar will just be how would you scan for different illnesses, and also how to strengthen your liver, for example, if you're ill, how to strengthen your kidneys. Then we would do the 5th webinar, that's the 9th of March. It's about balancing your energy system with Hong Song. And that's about the meridians. And I really have come to love the meridians because you just need to know the lines. You don't need to be an acupuncturist, of course, because that's a huge job to know all the points. But you can actually just activate the lines, and it's very easy to do by yourself. If you have a certain illness or something, to support the meridians that would be out of balance. This is the last webinar. So these are the ones we will work with, but the first is to have purified the pineal so that we can have energy supply. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of energy coming down to you this night and sleep very well. I hope that. Many people sleep well after doing the Hong Song. Yes?
Gita?
Yes?
Yeah,
Shall
just a minute, Gita.
Yes?
You hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes? Yes?
So now it's the time for question from our audience.
Okay.
So anyone who has question, please raise your electronic.
You look so good, CP. You good?
And anyone want to ask, so please just raise your hand and we will tell you one by one. We'll give you the permission to ask the question. Okay, so anyone? I don't see
Hello?
the,
Hello,
Hello?
yes,
can you hear me?
yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I've been posting there on the chat about bioresonator and the whole frequency thing, the vibration thing on every organ in the body. And it's a pretty amazing piece of medical device. It was developed by the Chinese and the Russians. It follows traditional Chinese medicine. It's kind of the science behind homeopathy. This idea of vibration to get the body communicating and the blood flowing on all parts of it. It goes through 5 layers of biology all the way down to the DNA. And really worthwhile looking into this whole thing about light, that it proves that we're made of light.
So there is a question?
It's not exactly a question, it's just an observation relative to vibrations and healing the body.
Okay.
Gita, do you want to relate?
I don't think I would like really more questions about what we just talked about, if it's possible, because homeopathy, yeah, it's of course also where you can sing for the water, but I am into sound, you see, and of course different vibrations and flowers and colors. I can say that, for example, there's 40 octaves between a sound and when the color is coming, so it's like all is frequency, but I don't know exactly where the flowers and the smells and all this are laying in this these frequencies. So I think it will be too abstract to answer this. But of course,
Okay.
everything is frequency, yeah?
Terry? Terry, can you
Yes.
ask? Yeah,
Yes.
can you ask
Oh.
your question?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh. Thank you. So do we continue to do this, or is the pineal gland now cleared? And by doing this with you and the group, are our pineal glands and our other glands now cleared, or do we continue to do this every day?
It would be great if you would continue doing it and practicing it, because it's a tool you can use to balance yourself. It's not forever, because we are exposed to toxins all the time, and this is a tool that can keep us free of toxins in our pineal gland. It's especially fluoride and bromine and chloride, and also some have found aluminum, calcium, all kind of heavy metals also in the pineal gland, because the pineal gland is having the highest blood flow in the body together with the heart. So much blood flowing through it, so it has also higher toxicity than hypothalamus and pituitary. Even all the 3 of them, they are not protected of the blood-brain barrier. Blood-brain barrier, I think it's called. And that's why they're vulnerable. And if we can keep ourselves clean, then we can keep our endocrine system working well. And the endocrine system is in charge of 80% of the communication of the immune system. So that's why our immune system is standing much stronger with a purified and balanced direction, you can say, with the pineal gland, but also hypothalamus and pituitary. for example, many people that have this Hashimoto's and thyroid problems, it could be the pituitary that it's imbalanced, and it's very hard to operate that, but you can hung for it. It's genius, you know. You can go and look at the brain if you have something. You can even go in Parkinson, you can go to the center of where the dopamine is created and play with it, you know. There's endless possibilities with this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So that's why continue doing it, but just don't do it too long time at a time. Move to something else and then come back to it. Don't overdo it, because I had one woman, she got so dizzy, she woke up in the night and she fell down the steps. I mean, we have no proof that it was because of the hung song, but she had really hunged a lot for her pineal gland. So we have to be careful.
Jessica?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Gita, and everybody behind the scenes to make this happen. And I'm very grateful to learn this. I'm also very excited to sign up for webinars. Could you arrange it that one can sign up for webinars not using a credit card, but a direct payment or something?
I will check.
That would be lovely.
Okay. By the way, because you said so, the link for the webinar is on the chat if you want to register.
Oh,
So
great.
it's open. More question? Mariette? Mariette, yes?
Mariette, we can't hear you.
Sorry. I was going to, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask, how do we subscribe to these webinars? And it's in the chat, but I can't find it. I mean, I was wondering, could you send us an email with an invite and more information?
We will send an email to our community with thank you for participating and with the link.
Good. Thank you. Good.
More question? Julia, yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi. I have fibromyalgia, and it's very hard to function. I meditated on when you were singing. I could not do exactly the voices that you are doing. I can't. How do I get there? Or I just listen to you?
No, you can get it there. It's I also was very fast doing it, but try to do it. Can you just do it? I'm not taking a long time. Just try once. Can you try to do it?
Don't know how. Show me.
You have to go into the nose and then you say hung. Try to say hung.
Hung.
Yeah, and then you have to not to press too much. Hung. Just relax. Go a little bit forward. Hung. Let it fall into the nose. Hung. This is a problem that it's not easy always. You can also stand and hang with the head between the legs. Maybe not so funny to do it into the camera. It's a worse position. But can you do like this? Like Very good. Yeah. You have to be a little bit rude.
But how you don't scratch your voice?
You don't scratch because this is actually an exercise that is to clean the voice. So it's very good for the voice. Like a cupboard opening up. Or Hitchcock film, a very, very, the door is opening.
I can't.
But you have to play with it, and then you will see. If you have fibromyalgia, it can also be something to do with the structure of the water in all the interstitium, which is around all the body. It can be, but it would be good for you to sing. Yeah, it would be. And I think the Note from Heaven, that would be a good place to start. then that will loosen up to say the hung. All of a sudden your voice will start singing it then by itself. So I think the note from heaven will be good.
Note from heaven is the next webinar?
Yes, it is.
And what if I can't do this, like can't sing this?
You can.
You will teach us?
Yes, you can talk, you can also sing.
You-
You can say no?
Ah,
Yeah, very good.
you will teach us through the webinar, to the next
Yes.
webinar?
Yes, I will. But I can't instruct each of you, but I will think how you can do it, and I can also tell you where you can work with other people if you want in a smaller group, to work together and to get instructed. I can tell that if you need it. Okay?
So, last question. When you do the voices, you just put the intention on the area that you want to heal. That's how it works.
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
have the hung, then I do this, that I am putting the intention on. I mean, that's also common when we do the vocal sound scanning, but let's say that I would investigate an area to see where is there a problem here. Then I will, and then if I will get a trauma sound, and I will look with my intention, is it more there or more there? For example, if it was a pancreas, I would go into, I know it has a head, it has a body, and it has a tail. I will go into it. I would be able to see if there's any imbalance in the head, or it's in the body, or in the tail, for example. And sometimes we're doing this kind of scans, and then we ask to hear what did the hospital find when they were photographing. And we very, very often I compared with some of my students that are good in this to see if we get the same result. And we usually get the same results, and then we compare it with the hospital scans also. So it's kind of a very strong method. So we find where's the trauma, and then we work with the real sound after to restructure and to come back to the original shape of the cells. Because many times if cells has been toxified, the structure is no longer harmonic. So we make it harmonic by finding the resonance of them and saying, ooh. I can try to do it on your forehead. Shall I do that? Julia? Is it all right? I go into your forehead. Ooh. Is it all right, Julia? Yeah? Here we had some
Me?
restructuring. Yes, I did it on your forehead.
I can't because it sounds like alarm missile.
Yeah, but did you feel it? Then it's the problem. If you dare to feel what's going on, then you would feel the energy.
No, I can't sing that because I will scare my neighbors.
You don't have to sing it now. I sang it for you. Okay?
Yes,
That was to show you how you can do a scanning. Yeah. So
this
that's
is
how you use it. Yep.
the scan. Okay.
Thank
It's
you.
just-
We will
Yes.
go on to Ralph.
Yeah.
Ralph? Yeah.
Mute. Okay. I'm wondering if there is a harmonic relationship between the three glands, like maybe 1, 5, 8, something like that.
Oh, that was an interesting idea. Like you mean the octave, huh?
Exactly.
And the
But,
fifth.
Hazrat Inayat Khan, the great Sufi master, used to play that on his
Yeah, because we're actually doing this
all night.
Yeah, because when we, let's say we're two sound healers, we work also like duos or trios or what, we work together sometimes. And then when we can do interference by making like notes, like very small intervals, like, and then we will always end by making the fifths or with an octave also, because that's kind of harmonizing everything. You can also say that it's all our harmon. I know that now many people don't know about music, but all the harmonic system, it's built on the fifths. The how you can the circle of the fifths.
Yes.
And this is actually in Indian style. Sa re ga ma pa. The pa is the father or the king note. And this is a really stable note, the fifth. So that's why we use it very often also. And it's also coming as one of the first overtones when you sing actually a harmony or find a resonance. So yes, certainly yes. But if it's exactly fitting with the three glands, I don't know, but it's fun to play with that idea.
Well, they might be in a relationship of physical vibration that, when multiplied by a common frequency, which would vary from person to person, would spread them out into the 1-5-8 relationship. Or maybe just a triad. I don't know.
But I think in general, if it works, it's good. That's how my basic ideas is. I mean, any idea you have yourself that you feel this is great, that could feel great. If it feels great and it's doing you well, it's good and it works.
Good. Thank you.
We have to use our inspiration, all of us, because if I would say, I have tried, I wrote something in my book, it's like this, and then somebody say to somebody else, it's like this because Gita says it. I said, I don't want anybody to hit somebody else with, because we have many truths, you know, we can have many layers of truth. What works for one might not work for the other. So
thank you.
As long as we heal ourselves, then it's good and know how to get a better life with it.
Erika. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this beautiful webinar. My question is it necessary to find any sign for the toxins came out?
Yes, you mean the toxins that will come if you are healing your pineal, or in general?
Yes. Both.
Both. Okay. Toxins. Now I'm telling you my point of view. I had a Lyme disease. I have an active Lyme disease, and you shouldn't ask me too much about this because I wrote this book, Help. It's a full book. Okay. I'm going to tell you then. But it is so that when you have toxins in your body, they are toxic because it's hard for the body to let go of them.
Yes.
So it's stored in the body.
Yes.
And when you have something that is not belonging to the body, you will always have kind of inflammation, and then you will start to be ill. So inflammation is one of the things, and tiredness, exhaustedness. You will have pain in your bones, in your joint, for example, like me. I found that the Lyme disease is caused, actually, in my case, was lead toxification. Because my mother, she liked to smell lead petrol when she was pregnant with me, because it would take her nausea, you see, and she had it beside her bed. So probably I had a lead toxification. She's also working with ceramics and not so, you know. So I have had a lot of lead, and that will. I just tell you, just this example is that when you have toxins like the heavy metals in your body that can't leave, lead will always be put in the joints, in the skeleton, because it's very close to the electric load of electric frequency of calcium. It's very similar. So the liver in a stress situation would take in, let it pass, because it was too busy just to look at it. And when you have that, then parasites would like to be where the toxins are. And why that? Because there will be less flow where the toxins are stored. They will be layered places where it's hard for the blood to move them. And that's many times in the joints or in the hands and the feet, it's hard to get them up. So problems, hands, feet, or joints, very usually. And parasites, because the heavy metals will also attract radiation, because metals are very good leaders of radiation. So that's why we talk about silver hats and people that cannot take radiation. It could be because they have a lot of heavy metals in them. And that's why some of us don't react, some react. So that's why it's crucial to detox ourselves.
Yes.
the pesticides also, the glyphosate. Sorry, but I get excited about it. But Stephanie Seneff wrote books about the professor or the scientist about glyphosate. Very probably hard to read it, but it's very important because the glyphosate is destroying all our gut.
Yes.
Yes. We need to detox. Yeah.
Yes, and I want to know if have I see any sign that these toxins left my body? Have I see?
Yes,
have
you
I
can.
To see? I can, but it is not. It is not important to see it. It can go.
They will not
slow.
say goodbye to you
No.
before they leave.
I don't.
But you see, the body will react by being sick. For example, when you have a cold, it can also be that I got swollen here.
Yes.
And it can also be that you need to purify your liver in order to do it, because the liver, before you will do a very heavy detox, you need to be sure that the liver is in a good condition, because the liver is the general of the body and the main detoxer. So if that's full of toxins already, then first to clean that one, and that's also why we're going to sing for the organs in another webinar. I can't do everything tonight. So, but then you can have it. For example, diarrhea is the body's way of washing it out.
Yes.
It's not so fun to have a diarrhea, but if you know it's detoxing, then you take it.
Then I thank you for
Sorry, I will not go through details more, but there are
no, it's okay.
But first of all, eat organic or try not to get the toxins inside. That's why it's
the
almost
first
a
part.
political thing to be organic. And
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Itamar?
Yes.
Itamar?
Shalom.
Hello?
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I want to ask about the thing you said about the calcium in the pineal gland and the way that created, or like you talked about how to clean it. You just said about eating organic and
yes,
like,
but you can have had it from your ancestors. We can actually have it from 4 generations. We can have it's passed on to the babies, the toxins actually. So so that's also why when we clean ourselves, we also clean up for our ancestors. Very often it's old stuff we are carrying inside us, and the toxins you could have in your pineal gland could primarily I don't know if you are much younger than me, but you would we used to, in the school we were forced to put the fluoride inside our mouth and sit by the dentist, and the fluoride is going it's like the pineal gland is almost like a magnet for it. So the fluoride is maybe good for the teeth, but not so good for the pineal gland. And they used to put it in water. They know about it because they used to put in the water for prisoners and concentration camps. They put it on purpose to numb people down. So they also did in Ireland. I went to make some workshop in Ireland, and they have the most beautiful spring water, but they put fluoride inside it. I don't know what's going on, if it's to numb people or what. So you hardly want to drink it.
So you suggest using filters then?
To what?
To use filters in the water.
Yes, to filter the water. It's so important to filter the water. Very important. It's a very strange world, because if fresh air and pure water is starting to be not so natural anymore to find it. Yeah.
So you recommend like doing these methods daily?
Yeah, or when you feel you need it, because when you purify a pineal gland, then you will feel you sleep much better. And when you sleep much better, then the body is able to detox itself. So maybe you don't need to do it that much. We can never know. If you can feel you sleep good, then it's good. And if you feel that you don't have problem with your body, it's fine. But it's good to know what to do. Also, if you get out of balance, for example, emotionally, it can help to do this hormonal system. I mean, I'm also going to do the amygdala hippocampus if you get a shock. But we'll do that in one of the webinars. That to stop the freeze or fight flight reaction.
The 3F, yeah.
Yeah, the 3Fs, yes. Because many people have it, all these wars and all this what's happening right now.
Thank you. Rosemarine? We have Rosemarine? Hi. We don't hear you.
Hi, Gita. It's Rosemary.
Hi, Rosemary. You are the one that fell down the steps. Oh,
so
my
I wanted
God.
to share
I didn't
this
want to
with
mention it.
everyone.
I'm sorry. Can you tell them, please?
Yes, that's why I wanted to speak. So I did study with Gita years ago. She's a phenomenal teacher. And I was so excited, and I was doing pineal. I was doing Hong. You remember I could go very low.
Very, very good in Hong Kong.
Very good at it. And I was so good at it. I was doing it for hours before the first class. And I literally went down a flight of steps like a bird and on concrete.
Oh,
got a horrible concussion. But doing too much Hung, but then doing enough Hung, I healed within 30 days during the class. Yeah. I had black eyes. I mean, it was horrible. And then when I finally got it down to just, okay, because they said you have to be in a dark room, do all those things. I said, okay, now is a perfect time to practice the Hongs. I look at it as an opportunity, and they were like, this healed so fast. I'm like, I know.
Wow, I'm happy to hear. Really happy to hear, Rosemary, because I've been sad about that for a long time that you fell down.
It was sort of a lesson in like you have to play with it and supposed to go into fear. And I thought, well, maybe I did too much.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the balance is the right.
Yes, you did too much,
right? And I guess I must have hit it right. But I do have a question around all that.
Yes.
So, you had said 3 minutes is a good time, for that. But if you're doing the whole endocrine system, do you do 3 minutes on each gland, like on pituitary?
No, it's just, I just put it like a maximum. You do how you feel like, but what is important, just like if you would have a glass and the sun is coming to burn through it, you wouldn't continue until it burns. Just move it, and then you go somewhere else, and then you can go back, just that the body can cope with it.
Okay. So you have to intuit. You have to feel what feels right to you.
I think so, but just not more than 3 minutes. That I would say, because otherwise it's getting too hot, probably.
And you might go down a flight of steps. But I mean,
imagine you have it was an online course, and next day we saw she was sitting totally black in her head, falling down. I mean, it was like, oh my God.
Right? But I didn't miss the class. I would not miss the class.
Yeah, yes. But also what can happen is that if you sing too much, also, if, let's say you would sing more people on one person and try to do it. We did that in one online. That was, you were not joining us there, Rosemary. One man had tinnitus that he wanted to get rid of in one ear. So we tried all to sing Hung on him. We just closed the microphone and we sang without being able to hear each other and sang on his ears. Then he stopped us because he got pain in his ear. I mean, we're sitting from all over the world. And then in the night he woke up and it started bleeding out of his ear. So I won't, you see, it's just, we're talking about this like, it's fun, but it is also fun, but it is serious. It really works.
Yes.
So
It does.
not to
Testimonial
sing
right
too
here.
many people at once and sort of and one person if you don't hear each other anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you again. I was so excited, and I'm so excited for the webinars coming up. And I'm a testimonial for Gita's work.
And I hope, Rosemary, you will continue singing because you have a really good hung. So you can hung them all.
Yes,
Not
I will
hang,
hung
but
them all.
hung them. Good.
Thank you. Wow, love you.
Thank you. We will have now the last question, the final question, okay? Because it's too late. Yeah. Sequoia? Sequoia, yeah? It's you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, and thank you very much, everybody, for this webinar, and thank you, Gita, for sharing.
Thank you. We can't hear you now.
When you were practicing the Indian scales.
Yeah.
You said you were holding one note, and then it just turned into many notes.
Yeah.
After 1 hour. What was that duration of practice? Like, how long did you practice this one note before this rainbow of colors came?
It came the first day. I think maybe I've been chosen to do this because it happened quite fast for me. So I otherwise I wouldn't maybe have done it, but it really happened quite fast after. I also see that in the courses, people get a little bit. I tell them it can be a little bit, if you're not used to meditate and things, like it can feel like boring in the beginning, and that's all right. Just continue, and then the sounds will come through. And it's happening when you are daring to just sing out, and sometimes singing much louder than you think, like on the R. Yeah.
So you're just specifically focusing on sa, or you could take any of the notes of the scale?
I'm taking a quite deep note, not too deep, but deep enough that you can, that the vocal cords will relax. You have to feel not pressed in any way to be yourself. Each person would have their own basic note, but that's of course coming for the webinar, that each person will have their personal note. But the women would be around an A, usually A flat, A. And the men can also be an A flat, but also can be other places because they have longer chords for the voice.
I'm just wondering, can I ask one last question here? What have you noticed practicing? I'm assuming because you took lessons with the Indian music, your teacher there. What did you notice just going up and down the scale? Because when you're going up and down the scale, you are working with the endocrine glands because you're working with the chakras. And I'm wondering what was your experience in that practice?
I was not, when I work with the Indian singing, they don't talk about chakras at all because they're not aware of it in the classical Indian singing. They talk about nada yoga that has something to do with this, but they are not into that. But she told me later, the teacher, that because she has died. I'm sorry about that, but she told me, oh, what you're doing is actually nada yoga, because I told her it works. So, but I put the Saregama Paranisa into the chakras, and I also made some CDs with it where I put the colors, because when you imagine adding your sound to a chakra, for example, the root chakra, and for example, we'll imagine red, when you mix the senses, then you're getting into a very deep meditation, because if you can be one with more senses at once, you get really far away. It's wonderful. So I like this, to sit and slide slowly with the notes on the chakras and then have the colors going on with it at the same time. This is really to imagine these colors, because then you are really healing in different levels at once. Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you for your wisdom. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
So maybe now you bring your two sons and
yes,
final
my two sons
song.
were here just before. Comes the two sons.
Two sons.
Kom nu, Pelle. They're coming now.
Yeah.
Just have to have now the text here. Just add. So. Beautiful. Come, you're coming, Gil. I just need a capo on it. It's a capo. That's it. Yeah. Is it there, the microphone, or a little bit closer to you?
It's all right.
You should be also with it.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be captured by it.
You think so?
Yeah.
And where's Gil? Pelle is there? I can't see him for the pictures.
Would you just play the harmonium quite loud just to see how the level is?
Tror du ikke, vi skal være lidt længere ind?
Yeah, 1 second.
We're now going to sing a song that Pelle wrote.
Yes. It's called Dear Earth. It's for the earth and like for what do you say? To allow yourself to be and to breathe and to unfold yourself in the world and
to be
learn
authentic
about who you are and be yourself.
And have grounding also, because it's about Dear Earth, let me plant my feet in your soil. And I think you should have it closer to you, this microphone.
No, it's fine.
Sure?
Yes.
You're welcome to sing along if they put the text. Could be. Yes.
Birds land on my arm. the earth. Let me plant my feet in your soil.
And Pele and Gili, and thank you also, Nadav. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you so much.
And and I want also to thank Yanir and Hagit Shavit for the sponsoring and supporting this event. And also thank to Anat Meital and Chagai Nave, the team, and also Yossi Tzruya here, and Ari Bloch. And thank you all people that participate in this webinar. We really thank you. And as we said, there is in the chat if you want to register. And we hope to see you in the next webinar. Who knows? And thank you from Israel.
And thank you, Tzipi, for doing
you.
this amazing work for such a long time and keeping and nurturing this community. Thank you, Tzipi.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thank you also, Sipi, because it's amazing we have this opportunity. And I also want to thank Merete Vestergaard, who will join at least one of the webinars I know. She will join us, that we can show also how we work as a duo. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gita. Big hugs.
Big hug.
The end, yeah. Thank you.
Hvad gør vi så nu?
Nu kan vi...
Nu må vi se, hvordan de hælder